In the last couple of years, I've sold over 100 homes, and many of those were buyers. And one of the questions that we get all the time is, how do I work with a buyer that refuses to get a pre-approval before they go out and see homes? Maybe it's a Zillow Flex lead. Maybe it's a Facebook lead. Maybe it's just an internet Google lead, and you're on the phone with them and you're having that conversation. They say, I want to see the home, but I'm not going to get pre-approved. I'm fine. Don't worry about the money. We're good. As an agent, we want to show them that it's not about us making sure that they're qualified. Although, let's be real, we don't get paid to show homes to people that can't buy them. It would be like walking into a Ferrari dealership and be like, I'm not going to show you that I got the money. Give me a test drive, right? We are not glorified real estate Uber drivers, so to speak. And more importantly, we care about their experience because we know that oftentimes they go out, they're unprepared, they see a home, they love it, they want to make an offer, and it gives them a completely horrible experience. And it's our fault because we didn't help educate them on the process. This video is some of the tricks and tips that I use to showcase value to them so that they follow the right process and end up having a great experience. And they trust me long enough to work with me, sign a buyer representation agreement, and get the home that they want for the right price. This is the video you want to watch.
All right. So leads that are not qualified, where are these leads coming from?
So we use Zillow, Opcity, Prime Street.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the process that they want you to follow is they want you to show the properties even if they're not qualified, right? Like they just want you to get them out there and showing properties, and they kind of judge you on it now.
Yeah. So we're not on Zillow Flex. So I don't think they're as strict with our process, but I'm finding that I'm talking to leads and following up with them, but they're not making the move to contact a lender. I'm almost to the point now where I'm just going to give the lender their information because I can't force them to call, but at the same time, I can't do anything otherwise.
Let's role play this. Because oftentimes what I've found is how the conversation starts and the way we take it will lead to, sometimes like when I would get stuck, I would look back and go, I took the wrong angle on that one. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that you are, but what I want to do is I want to showcase how, because anybody working those leads deals with the same thing. You get these people that are like, I saw this property, it looks great, I want to go see it, and no, I'm not pre-approved, but that's not a problem. The money's not a problem. I'm loaded rich. I don't have any personal real estate agents that I work with, but I'm loaded. I get cash falling into my ears. And by the way, anytime somebody says money isn't an issue, I always am like, you don't have money. But we can't do that as real estate agents. So we'll role play the conversation. We'll take it from the beginning, and you be those people. Okay. And feel free to be tough. Feel free to be really difficult. And just don't hesitate to show some teeth. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to showcase how I do it. And my goal is to soften them up and have some fun with them. And also, I'm willing to go show one property if I'm going to get in front of a buyer that I truly believe is going to buy within the next 3 to 6 months. Right? Because I know that I have a better chance of converting them the more they get to see me work. The more I get. Now, and by the way, don't be the buyer who we know they're not qualified. We know they can't afford anything. We know they got a 300 credit score. We know they're robbing the IRS, blah, 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 blah. Like somebody that is actually in a position where they can do that. So we'll start from the beginning. Ring, ring, ring. You're the buyer. Ring, ring, ring.
Hi, I was interested in 123 Main Street.
That's awesome. That's a great place. How long have you been looking?
Well, I've been looking for a couple months.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Have you been looking online, touring homes already?
I've been looking on Zillow, and I've already spoken to an agent.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. And in regards to the property 123 Main Street, I'll pull it up here. What is intriguing or interesting to you about this property?
I like that it has 3 bedrooms.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Why do you need 3 bedrooms?
Because I have 2 kids, and I'd like to get them to not have to share a room anymore.
That's awesome. I got 2 kids, 7 and 9. How old are your kids?
2 and 10.
Ooh, a little bit of a break there. As I get the 10-year-old kind of helps with the 2-year-old, or too busy in video games and stuff.
A little bit of both.
All right, fair enough. Hey,
That's
one
true.
of the things that is really important when you go out and tour properties, I mean, what I found is the best, most prepared buyers are going to get the best opportunities. Have you made any offers on any properties yet?
I have not, no.
Okay. And if you had a magic wand and it had a little star at the top and you were waving it all around and you were magically in your house and your kids weren't sharing a bedroom anymore, what's your preferred timeline?
Within the next month.
Wow, really? So you're like really super motivated, ready to go.
Yes.
Hey, and out of curiosity, you said you had mentioned that you had toured a home with an agent. Um, how'd you come across? Why aren't you working with that agent? Why didn't you call them?
Well, they really wanted me to speak to a lender, and at that time I just wasn't ready to pull the trigger, and I just didn't want my credit run to get a ding on my credit report.
Interesting. What they say after you said that?
They pretty much hung up the phone on me and never called back.
Wow. You know, I as much as it still shocks me a little bit, I'm not surprised. Most real estate agents have something called commission breath, and if they don't feel like you're going to make their life easy, then they just kind of give up. And which shocks me because if you're running a business, you want your customers to have the most amazing experience so that everybody raves about you. Which we love working with referrals. And by the way, most of our new clients that aren't referrals come from Zillow. So out of curiosity, if you could have the perfect real estate agent, seeing as how you're ready to make a move in the next 30, 60 days, you just obviously got to find the best home. What are you looking for out of a real estate agent that would match what you want?
Somebody that can listen to my wants and my needs, and find something exactly what I'm looking for in the price range, and not shy away from the fact that I need 3 bedrooms and not two.
Okay. Okay. Well, you said not shy away from 3 bedrooms, not two. Was there some challenging in regards to pricing and what you want? People trying to push you to get something based on pricing?
Yeah, it seems like my price range is a little bit too small, and not finding very many 3 bedrooms in that price range. So they keep sending me 2 bedrooms.
Interesting. So you mentioned that you want somebody to listen to your wants and needs. What are your wants and needs?
Um, I would like a 3 bedroom, a detached home. So, not a condo or a townhouse. Um, Preferably, it comes with all of the appliances. Um,
No
no
wonder you're
HOA.
excited. Place sounds fantastic. And is it just you that are looking for the property, or do you have other people that are helping you purchase, or what's the scenario there? Who's all involved in this process?
Just my husband and I.
Awesome, awesome. All right, and so what you're really looking for is a realtor that's going to listen to you and focus on not pushing you into what you don't want, but also focus on what you do want. It sounds like there's also been a challenge with inventory, meaning they're not finding immediately what you really want, so they're just kind of giving up and pushing other inventory on you. Have you noticed? Have you noticed and been feeling the low inventory while you're searching online?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, awesome. One of the interesting things about where we're at in the market is that we do have low inventory, and what a lot of our clients are hoping for is that we can open up some resources to get them off market homes. Did any of the other agents you spoke to previously discuss a system on how they can help buyers get off market properties?
No, they have not. No one's ever told me about that.
Really? Okay, well, I'm really glad that we connected with you because we have an entire system when working with buyers. First and foremost, we start with educating about where the market is at, so that way you can get the best price. I'm assuming you're like most of our clients that want the best price and don't want to overpay for real estate. I've never met a buyer that's like, yeah, I'll overpay. But we start with education first. Did anybody slow down to like really teach you what's driving the market today and where it's expected to go, so you even know if it's the perfect time for you?
No, no one's instructed anything like that.
Yeah, you know what? This is something we created this process specifically to ensure you guys have phenomenal results. And it sounds like, despite the fact that you're ready to go, you're kind of just been going about this yourself.
Correct. Yeah, I'm just searching on Zillow and clicking that button to talk to an agent, and pretty much doing it all alone.
you know what? I'm sorry for that. And I'm super excited because based on exactly what you're looking for, it feels like you're going to be a perfect fit for our buyer process that we run. And this is why we have so many referrals. Quick question, because what I've also found is that some of the buyers, especially when they've been working with unprepared or unexperienced agents or inexperienced agents, they typically are rushing into the property, have no preparation, find a property that they like, go to make an offer, but they end up having to overpay for the property because they weren't prepared. Question for you, who are you using for the lending?
I haven't even gotten that far yet.
Oh my goodness. So you're really playing catch up at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, quick question for you, because you mentioned 30 days. If it took us 60 days to find you a better price home, would that be something that would be a detriment to you? Why 30 days? What's so important about 30 days?
The lease is up where I'm currently living in 30 days.
Okay. And are you facing a imminent massive jump in rental, or could you go month to month?
I could see about asking for month to month.
All right. Let me ask you this, because based on, I mean, listen, I'm going to check in with the seller. I'm not sure if we can get in today. By the way, what is the availability for you, your husband, and your 2-year-old and 10-year-old to go and tour the property in the near future?
I can go during the day between 12 and 3.
12 and 3. That's my favorite time to show homes. Question for you. You said you can go. Is this something where you're kind of doing the legwork, and then if you love it, we're going to do a second showing with the whole family? What can I expect?
That's a good point. It probably would be that way. My husband likes to just sign off on anything that I find.
you sound like my relationship. My wife, as one of my best friends, Surreal Sparks, in my well, best friends is a little bit bold. I got off there. He likes to throw me jabs left and right, but as he would say, my wife would wears the pants in the family, and she signs off on everything. I'm just here to make the decision. But listen, question for you, because when we go to see properties, okay, I always ask this question, is that if you knew for a fact you loved it, you wanted it, and you were competing against other offers, right? Would you want to be playing catch up and have to overbid against everybody else? Or would you want the seller to take your offer and your family super seriously and be willing to give you a better price than everybody else?
Oh, for sure. I want to pay as little as possible, get the best deal.
All right. The property at 123 Main Street, I pulled it up online. It just hit the market recently, and it looks like there's going to be some opportunities to show it before it sells. Let me ask you this. If I could show you a completely different process that starts with educating you about what's going on in the market, what's driving it, ensuring that if you saw the property and loved it, you could be super confident that you weren't overpaying. And during that same conversation, give you 3 strategies that you've already identified you're not using that would ensure the seller found you to be the most qualified, most prepared, and they would be the most willing to give you a better price to ensure you don't get overbid on this competition. Do you think that's something that you and your husband would find valuable?
I think I would trust you to guide me in the right direction. I just don't know if I have the time to do all this research. I work nights and home with the kids during the day. So I don't know if I have a lot of extra time for all of that.
Yeah, and that's exactly why, and I really appreciate sharing that. We built our entire process for busy people, because let's be real, if you're buying a home, you are successful and you are making good decisions. And if you have kids and you're married and you're working and you're taking on extra, we've taken 30 minutes. Imagine taking 30 minutes out of your time, out of your day. And by the way, I've done some at 7 a.m. I've done them at 8:30 after you drop the kids off. I've done them at 9:30. I've done them on Sundays. I've done them on Saturday during cartoon time with the kids. I mean, I'm really flexible because helping people save money and build wealth through real estate is one of my biggest passions. We've taken 15 years of real estate experience, and we've taken hundreds of hours a month and compressed all that education and all that knowledge into 30 minutes. And we find a direct correlation of $15,000 to $20,000. So do you feel like carving out 15 to 30 minutes at any available waking moment for you and your husband to save $15,000 or $20,000 and have a massively different experience that not only will save you time and energy, but also lower the stress level significantly during this process? Do you think that 15 to 30 minutes would be worth it?
I think I can do that. I do have a
phenomenal.
question though. Would
Yeah.
you be able to do a virtual showing for me?
Yeah, you know what? I've done that a ton of times for clients. And most of the time it's because they're out of the area and they physically can't tour the property. And then of course during COVID we did it a lot because, well,
Mhm.
state was shut down, etc. Out of curiosity, what's the biggest desire about a virtual showing for you?
Just time away from the kids, like it's time is hard to come by. So if you could do the virtual showing, that way we can just cross those ones off the list and come back to an in-person showing if we like the looks of it.
Okay, fantastic. So, what were your thoughts, by the way, real quick? Because here's what happens if, and by the way, what typically happens when you're shopping, you've got this timeline, you've got this deadline. You've seen how many homes so far? Rough numbers?
7.
7 homes, and out of those homes, you saw a lot of what you don't like, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I typically find is that as buyers get into that 7, 10, 12 range, they're searching, they're searching, they're searching, they're thinking, they're thinking, they're thinking. They see a lot of what they don't want. And then all of a sudden, the perfect one pops up. And then rather than having prepped properly, if they don't follow the right steps, then they have to completely reorganize their lives. They have to completely change their schedules. They have to completely go above and beyond to gather information, put things in place, meet new people, find new lenders, and do all of this in the middle of the pressure while deciding whether or not that's the home for you. Does that sound like an enjoyable experience?
Um, yeah, as long as we find the right one. You think it's out there?
I know that the right property is out there, but what I find is that preparation leads to success. What I'd like to do is recommend a solution that time and time again has outperformed every other strategy. I'd like to do this. First, I'd like to schedule the call. And I'd like to schedule the call of 15 to 30 minutes at any time of your convenience with you and your husband. We'll do that virtual. We'll make it super, super simple. As you mentioned, you're super busy. We'll spend 15 to 30 minutes to get to know each other, because that way, when you're fully educated and you're fully prepared and I'm doing the virtual showing, you actually know that I've invested time and energy into you. And I'm not just trying to push you what you don't want like all the other agents. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, assuming that call goes really well and you still want to continue on this conversation, I'll connect you with 2 or 3 fantastic lenders and I'll have them compete for the best interest rate to earn your business, but most importantly, delivering great service. And I'll give you a strategy of how to do that, as I do when I purchase real estate. Then I'll connect with the seller. We'll schedule a time that'll work out really, really well for you. And we will present, we'll go do the virtual showing. Fair enough?
Perfect. That sounds good.
Great. So let me grab my calendar real quick and let's go into, so when's your Netflix time? Do you got Netflix time?
Yeah, about 9 o'clock at night.
All right. And is that a time where you and your husband are kind of organizing a life? When would be the best time? Because here's what I don't want. I mean, you're buying a house, right? And this is something that, is this your first purchase or is this your multiple purchases? Do you own the house you in?
No, we're renting, so this will be the first purchase.
Yeah, that's right. You mentioned that. I apologize for the judgment. So when you're buying your first home, there's a million things that come in. And if you don't take them in the right fashion, you get overloaded, you get overwhelmed. And sometimes that actually means you miss out on the perfect home or you pay too much. So what I don't want to do is talk to you in a state where it's like, man, you're just about to pass out. What would be the best opportunity for us to carve out 15 to 30 minutes with you and your husband? We'll do virtual so that I can make sure that you have the right information. I've listened super explicitly to your wants and your needs so that I can serve you the best solutions, including off-market properties.
8 o'clock is good. That's after bedtime and before we get ready to wind down.
Fantastic. So you want to do 8 o'clock tonight? It sounds like we've got a timeline that we want to hit.
Yeah, definitely. That works.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. And then let's assume, just because I've done this for, over 14 years, let's just assume that after I've educated you, after I've spent all the time listening to your wants and needs, I'm providing you really amazing solutions and you both feel super confident in what I'm offering you in comparison to all the other people that have failed you, that we'll do a virtual showing Friday or Saturday at your convenience, maybe Saturday at 8 a.m. during like cartoon time after you get everybody going.
Yeah, that works.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet tonight at 8. We're going to spend some time getting really knowledgeable. I'm going to make sure you guys are the second smartest people in the room when it comes to real estate. And I'm going to make sure that you're confident in your choices so you can get the best decision when it comes to the time of the one popping up. Then, assuming that that goes well, we'll connect you with some fantastic options to make sure that when you have the property come to fruition, then you can just go ahead and work with the right lender. But having that pre-approval when you go to make the offer, it gets worked through the process. And if a seller does not have a strong feeling that you've been prepped and prepared, they're going to feel like you're this wishy-washy buyer. Now, they're either going to think that you're stubborn and don't want to follow the process because you don't have the knowledge, or B, they're going to think I'm a horrible agent. Nobody wants to work with a stubborn buyer because it means risk, right? They want a buyer that's like, I've got my things in a row. I've got everything detailed out. I've covered all the hiccups. This is as good as cash. And they want an agent that they know has spent time with the client. So we've got a little bit of catching up to do. So Thursday we'll meet here. If that goes well, we'll connect you with some really fantastic options for lending so you can find the best fit there. I've already vetted them all out. And then Saturday morning at 8 a.m., we'll do a virtual showing. Now, assuming that all that goes really well, whether you buy the home or not, and I've blown your mind and your husband's mind, and I've completely delivered more value, do I have the opportunity to earn your business as your real estate agent?
I think so. You've taken a lot of time with me today. I have a question though. How long does that pre-approval last? Do I have to get that every time I look at a house?
No, here's the best part, that once you get, and I'm going to talk to you about a couple strategies within the buyer consultation meeting. That's exactly why we need to meet tonight, because I'm going to give you all the information about where you're at. But the bottom line is this: is one, it's not going to affect your credit score. And two, you're not going to have to do this over and over again. We're going to do it once. We're going to do it right. And we're going to make sure that from then on, it's just easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, looking at properties, having some fun.
That sounds great. I'm really excited.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you have any questions about me specifically?
Do you want me to ask? Yeah. Do you have a website where I can look up some more information and see more about your company?
100%. Inside of the email confirmation that I'm going to send you for our appointment tonight, I'm going to have lots of information for you can do so you can do your due diligence. My online presence actually sells me a little bit better than I do, so I'm excited to share it with you.
Awesome. And how many years have you been doing real estate?
Over 14. That's where this gray hair comes from.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to work with you and get started on our home journey.
Thank you so much for that. I know that you spend your time with talented people and people that are hard workers. So that means a lot to me. I set the bar high and I go even higher with the results. So I'm excited to meet you and your husband. By the way, what was his name?
Brandon.
Okay. Well, Michelle, I look forward to speaking with you and Brandon. I promise you, after a long day, this is going to be a fun conversation. You're going to walk away feeling good about the process. You're going to have a plan in place, and you're going to have a completely different experience than you've been experiencing so far.